Welcome back, fight fans, to another episode of GTS Combat. And yo, I'm here again today, looking ahead to a highly anticipated fight. This time, it's UFC welterweight champion Kamaru Usman going up against his teammate in Gilbert Burns, and it's at UFC 258 on February 13th. So let's get into it. You got Kamaru Usman 17-1, and that's 7-0 coming via TKO or KO stoppage, and 1-1 coming via submission. Whilst you got Gilbert Burns 19-3, and that's 6-1 coming via TKO or KO stoppage, and 8-0 coming via submission. So we can probably see where Gilbert Burns feels like he's got the slight advantage, probably on the ground with the submission, using his jiu-jitsu game. But with Kamaru Usman, we know he's a very controlling fighter. He controls the pace of the fight, he controls where the fight takes place. If he wants to, he'll stand and trade with you, or he'll push you against the cage and just dominate and control you there also. But Usman is the slightly taller man, coming in at 6 foot, also with a 76-inch reach, whilst Gilbert Burns 5'10", 71-inch reach. So Usman, like I said, slightly taller and a slightly longer reach, so he may feel like he has the advantage there to control the fight and, like I said, control where the fight takes place, so he doesn't feel like he's in any danger at any point. Kamaru Usman likes to kind of play it safe and not get himself into too much danger, but also just pick you apart and break you down, and like I said, just grind through the win like he did to Masvidal in his last fight. Masvidal was lighting him up at slight small moments, not really anything that looked too dangerous, but he was touching him up at times with the stand up, and then that's when Kamaru Usman would just push him against the fence and just hold him there, dominate and control the fight. And like I said, he's not in any danger of getting himself hurt or knocked out then. And the same against when he took the belt off Woodley. It was just a dominant performance, but 5 rounds of just pushing him against the fence and controlling the fight. That's what Usman does. He doesn't take too many risks in his fights. Whilst Gilbert Burns, this is an interesting fight in my opinion. They are teammates. So I feel like both guys are going to have, they're going to have a lot of knowledge on each other and what to expect from each other. Whilst I feel like Gilbert Burns, he may feel like he knows something how to beat Kamaru Usman. He may feel like he has the knowledge to defeat Kamaru Usman. Maybe there's something that's happened in the gym, in the training room, that Gilbert Burns is taking confidence from, and he's going to use that to try get the victory against Usman. I feel like Gilbert's probably the more explosive and faster fighter from what we've seen recently. He seems like he is very fast and explosive with his punches. He comes and closes distance very, very quickly, and he gets onto you with them strikes, and they do look quite powerful. He knocked out Damian Maia. He hurt Tyron Woodley quite a few times, so he's added that facet to his game where he's kind of well-rounded his game that bit more to be able to throw in the strikes. He hasn't just got to rely on his jiu-jitsu. But that's where it gets interesting, is like if he can apply that pressure to Usman, what's to say if then Usman panics and shoots for a takedown? His natural game is, wrestling and grappling and clinch control, all of that kind of stuff, to take you to either against the fence or to the ground, just to grind you out. So if he gets hurt, his natural reaction is going to be to shoot for a takedown. But if you do that against someone like Gilbert Burns, he's going to wrap you up and just submit you. He's going to either clinch onto a neck, or if you half get him down and you sprawl, then he's just going to wrap you up on the ground and get the submission. So is Usman even going to want to try to do that against someone like Gilbert? And then that's the question. If he wants to just stand and trade with Gilbert, he really has to control that distance and that range and keep him at arm's length, because like I said, in my opinion, Gilbert's the faster, more explosive guy out of the two. But Usman probably has that more devastating power punching, that it looks like he has that more devastating power in his punches. He looks like when he does hit someone, it does hurt. It looks like he's got quite a meaty punch. You can hear the connection when he broke Colby Covington's jaw. They were just standing and trading, and in that fight it seemed pretty clear that Usman had the heavier punches out of himself and Colby Covington. So for that reason, I would say Usman is the more powerful puncher out of him and Gilbert, but I would say Gilbert's quicker and faster at closing the distance and piecing them punches and them combinations together. So it's quite an interesting fight in my opinion. You've got, let's just try to break it down. And you've got Kamaru Usman, the well-rounded wrestler who will grind out the victory, who'll break you down, he'll push you against the fence, and like I said, just grind and break you down slowly and strategically throughout the fight. Whilst you've got Gilbert Burns, who most recently he looks very explosive, very confident in his hands, in putting punches together, but he still has that jiu-jitsu game that he can fall back on. If he hurts you and you want to panic, he's happy to take it to the ground if that's where you want to fight. But because he's rounded his game out and he's now confident in throwing hands, he doesn't have to rely on it. He's quite happy to stand and trade, and if it goes to the ground, it goes there, because he feels like he's going to be better than you on the ground. He's the most confident. He's very confident in his jiu-jitsu abilities. So for that reason, my head says that Kamaru Usman is going to get just a simple victory. He's just going to do what he does, grind you against the fence, hold you there, control you, clinch control, all of that, and just keep you there for 5 rounds and get the victory like he generally always does. That's what my head says. For some reason though, my heart's saying Gilbert. That when I saw him, I know he didn't put Woodley away, but he just looked very explosive, he looked very fast, he looked confident. He's putting the combinations together, and we know he has the jiu-jitsu to fall back on. And in the fact that these two guys are teammates, I feel like, does he have something? Does he know something that he's been keeping close to himself, that he thought, you know what, if I do have to run into my teammate in Kamaru Usman, then I know what I need to do to beat him. Because he took that fight originally when it was first booked very quickly. Like, when it was offered to him, he didn't hesitate. He just took the fight, and that's against his teammate. Like, he was just like, yep, I'll take it. I got this. So he must be confident. Gilbert must be confident coming into this against Kamaru. But he has lost in the past. He was in lightweight before. He's previously at lightweight. He's lost to the likes of Dan Hooker, and we know Dan Hooker is a very good lightweight. But sometimes it's, when you're looking at levels, would you say Dan Hooker at the same level of Kamaru Usman? Also, Kamaru Usman, such a bigger guy. But at the same time, styles make fights, and fighters evolve. Gilbert's come a long way since then. He's put a lot of wins together. He's beat, the likes of Gunnar Nelson, Damian Maia and Tyron Woodley on his route to this title shot. So, yeah, we've got to give him the benefit of the doubt. We've got to see what he can do in there. And in my opinion, I'm actually going to back him, just because both guys are very well-rounded fighters. But I feel like Gilbert does have the speed advantage and probably does have the explosiveness, whilst Kamaru just has the power. And then also, if it goes to the ground, I feel like Gilbert's got the advantage there. So if Kamaru is clinching and pushing him against the fence, what's to say if Gilbert just gets a little trip on him? Just trip down on the floor. Next thing you know, he's in his element. So I just feel like Gilbert probably potentially has more ways to win this fight than Usman, which feels crazy in saying that, just because, Usman generally is the well-rounded guy that will come in and just control the fight and where it takes place. But both guys good at stand-up. Can piece their punches together, put their combinations together. Both guys good on the ground, but I would say the advantage goes to Gilbert there. And, with the clinch control, yeah, you're going to give that to Kamaru Usman, clinching you against the cage, all of that kind of stuff. And obviously the power would probably go to Usman. But both guys got the power enough to hurt each other. That's what I mean. They're very close, contested in every kind of every sort of asset, every avenue, every sort of way the fight could go. They're very even. They're very closely matched. But the slight advantage on the ground with the submissions is where I'm seeing this potentially going. Is if someone gets hurt in the stand up and it goes to the ground, Gilbert could just nick something, he could just latch onto a neck or get a submission somehow. Whilst I don't see Usman potentially knocking him out, he's got to go 5 rounds and just, grind out a victory is what I see. So that's my prediction. I'm going with Gilbert via maybe a 4th round submission. Ooh, yeah, I'm really going out with this one. Yeah, Gilbert Burns, 4th round submission victory to become the new welterweight UFC champion. That's my prediction. Let me know your predictions in the comment section below. I've been Jimmy. This has been GTS Combat. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Till next time.